All right, welcome everybody to the day 7 of the Advent of Cyber. Today we are going to be looking at log analysis. 'Tis the season for log chopping. Let's go ahead and start the machine and let's get into it. Ooh, forward back up. Man, that took us way down there, didn't it? All right, here we go. All right. To take revenge on the company demoting him to regional manager during the acquisition, Tracy McGreedy installed the Cryptoy Miner, a malware he downloaded from the dark web, on all workstations and servers. Even more worrying and unknown to McGreedy, this malware includes a data stealing functionality, which the malware author benefits from. The malware has been executed and now a lot of unusual traffic is being generated. What's more, a large bandwidth of data is seen to be leaving the network. Forensics McBlue assembles a team to analyze the proxy logs and understand the suspicious network traffic. Go. Let's see what we got here. Today's learning objectives are, in this task, we will focus on the following vital learning to assist Forensic McBlue to uncover the potential incident. Revisiting log files and their importance, understanding what a proxy is and breaking down the contents of proxy logs, building Linux command line skills to parse log entries manually, and then once again analyzing a proxy log base on a typical use case. All right, looks like we're going to use Log Primer. Before analyzing a data set of proxy logs, let's first revisit what log files are. A log file is like a digital trail of what's happening behind the scenes in a computer or software application. It records important events, actions, errors, or information as they happen. It helps to diagnose problems, monitor performance, and record what a program or application is doing. For clarity, let's look at a quick example. So we've got 158.32.51.188, and it's showing October 25th, 2023 at 9:11:14 in the morning. It says it's a git robots.txt. Basically somebody ran a curl to check out what was in robot.txt. Let's see, the example above is an entry from an Apache web server log. We can interpret it easily by breaking down each value into a corresponding purpose. All right, kind of already did that, but let's go through what we got on this table. So the source ID is 158.32.51.188. So that's the computer that was actually reaching out and trying to get this. So that's the source computer that initiated the HTTP request. Our timestamp, that's the date and time. The HTTP request, that is the actual HTTP request made, including the request made, the URL path, and which version it is. Status code is at 200, so 200 means that it's good. So the response to the web application was okay. And then the user agent is curl.7 or curl7.68.0. User agent used by the source of the request. It is typically tied up to the application that invoked the request. All right. So being able to interpret a log entry allows you to contextualize the events, whether for debugging purposes or for hunting potential threat activity. All right, now we're going to learn what a proxy server is. Since the data to be analyzed is a proxy log, we must understand what a proxy server is. A proxy server is an intermediary between your computer or a device and the internet. When you request information or access a website or web page, your device connects to that proxy server instead of connecting directly to that target. The proxy server then forwards that request that you're asking for and receives the response and then sends that response back to you or your device. To visualize this, let's refer to the diagram below. So user A over here is trying to get to Google, and they just connect directly to Google because there's nothing in the middle. With a proxy server, the user attempts to connect to Google, hits the proxy server, then the proxy server then forwards it on to Google, gets that reply back, sends it to the proxy server then bounces it back over to the user. These are proxy servers are used all around the world, and they're great for areas within the world that have let's say places that won't allow you to get to specific things on the internet. You may be able to hit a proxy server and allow you to get to a website that you would not normally get to within the location that you're at. So a proxy server offers enhanced visibility into network traffic and users' activities. Since it logs all web requests and responses, this enables systems administrator and security analysts to monitor which websites users access, when and how much bandwidth is used. It also allows administrators to enforce policies and block specific websites or content categories, so forth. All right, whoa, too high, come back. Given that our task is hunting suspicious activity on the proxy log, we need to know what possible malicious activity can be seen inside one. Let's elaborate on a few common examples of a malicious activity. So what would a malicious activity be? So attack techniques, download attempt of a malicious binary. So maybe somebody's connecting to www.evil.com/malicious.exe. So maybe there's a machine that's reaching out and trying to get that, and then you can see in the logs that that's what's going, and you can block that. Data exfiltration, high count of outbound bandwidth due to file upload. So somebody's sitting at a computer and they're pushing stuff out to the internet. And continuous C2 connections, so a command and control. So a high count of outbound connections to a single domain in a regular interval, meaning something the computer inside is pinging out to a specific spot constantly. Or not constantly, but in a direct interval. So every 5 minutes to a single domain. We'll expand further on these concepts in the following task sections. All right, so accessing the database, we've already got that set up and on. We must understand the log contents to work on the data set provided. To make things fun, let's start playing and clicking on the start machine. So we got that turned on. Machine will start, blah, blah. Okay, the VM contains a proxy log file in the home. Okay, so let's open a terminal. All right, so it contains a proxy log in the file. So where are we at now? CD home. Desktop artifacts. artifacts. All right, so let's move over to there. So now we're in that file. In the directory, you should see logs. So you can verify this by clicking on the terminal icon. Yep, saw that, got that. I don't know. You can skip the following section if you're familiar with the following Linux commands: cat, less. Well, I'm familiar with them, but we're learning, so let's go through them. Chopping down the log. Let's see, can we click on this? Ah, here we go. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Now that we're already in the artifacts directory, let's start learning a couple of Linux commands and see what they actually do. So cat, short for concatenate, allows you to combine and display the contents of multiple files. This command on a single file will enable you to display the contents. You can try this command. So if we do cat, and then let's do artifacts. Oh, sorry. Access logs. Look at the access log. Then it will throw out all the access logs. There we go. Make it bigger. What a bunch of garbly goop, right? You might have been overwhelmed by all the contents in the proxy log. This is because the cat command just dumps all of the contents and only stops once the whole file has been rendered. But don't worry, we'll learn more tricks to optimize the output. So let's go less. The less command allows you to view the contents of a file one page at a time, compared to the cat command. This allows you to easily review the contents without being overwhelmed. So let's do the same thing. If we do less, and then we do access log, now we can hit the space bar and kind of go through everything. All right. One page at a time. There's a lot of pages in this access log. Let's just hold down this. Hold it down. Come on. I see WebKit. I see lots of stuff in this access log. Oh, we went to a lot of places in here. I'll hit Q and we'll quit that. All right, now head. The head command lets you review the contents of the top of the file. Try executing head. So head, access, log. And that shows us the top of the file and what we see. That shows us the first 10 entries of the log. Hey, no, come on. Shows the first 10 entries of the log. To specify the number of lines to be displayed, use the -n or tack-in option together with the count of lines, similar to below. So we can do the same thing, and then let's put in, and let's put in 1 -in/1, so we only see one line. And there we go. Now we got one line. There we go. So now we're seeing head. We're seeing less. We've seen cat. What's the next one? Tail. In contrast to the head command, the tail command allows you to view the end of the file. To display the last 10 characters or the last 10 lines, let's do tail -in. Let's say 10, and let's say access log. And there are our last 10 lines on here. So we've also got the WC command. The WC command stands for word count. It's a command line tool that counts the number of lines, words, and or characters in a text file. Try executing WC access log. By default, it prints the count of lines, words, and characters as shown in your terminal. There you go. Count of words, lines, words, and then characters. For this task, we will only need to focus on the line count. So we will use the -L option. So let's go same thing, and let's put in -L. Come on. And then what line do they want us to look at? You can probably tell why we're getting overwhelmed with cat line. So we're only going to look at the L, and we want to see how many lines of code there are, or how many lines of logs there are. So 49,081. The NL command stands for number lines. It renders the contents of the file in a numbered line form. So we can do the same thing with NL. and then access. And what it will do is basically put numbers at the beginning of each line, just like that. And now you see 49,081. This command is very helpful. Used before the head or tail command, since the line number can be used as a reference in trimming out the output, knowing the line number. So there we go. That's a quick reference and an overlook. So now let's chop down those logs. Let's pull out that axe and see if we can't find out what's going on in this log. Big Blue tells us that he's configured the Squid proxy server to use the following log format: timestamp, IP source, domain and port, the method of the HTTP, the URI, the status code, the response size, and then of course the user agent. Let's use one of the log entries as an example to compare what the format is. So here we go. We've got timestamp, then we've got the source IP address, then we've got the domain of where it went to and the port. So storage.live.com, port 443. Then we've got the method. It's a get method. 40 or 400 and then 630, and our URI method, or that's our method. Our method is get. Our URI, our HTTP URI is that didn't show it in the right order. So we've got HTTP method, the URI. Oh, it just got the okay. So position 1, timestamp 2023, that's our date value, our source IP address, and then we've got domain and port, storagelive.com, port 443. Our method is get, HTTP URI, just the main page of that. The status code is 400, the response size is 630, and then our user agent is Mozilla, so we're using Firefox. As you can see in the table above, we can break down the log entry down and assign a position to each value so that it can be easily interpreted. Now let's continue by using another Linux command line tool to split the log entries per column. This is the cut command. All right. The cut command allows you to extract specific sections, quote unquote columns, of lines from a file or input stream by cutting the line into columns based on the delimiter and selecting which, come on machine, and selecting which columns to display. This can be done by using the -D option for delimiter and the -F option for position. The example below uses the uses space as a delimiter and only displays the timestamp column number 1 after cutting the log with the space. So let's see. We do clear. All right, so now if we do cut -D with a space as the delimiter -F1, and F1 is going to be for the position, and then access log. Now all we're getting is the timestamps. It's also possible to select multiple columns, just like in the example below, which chooses the timestamp column 1, domain, port, column 3, and status code. So now we've got same thing, but instead of just 1, now we're going to use our column as 1, 3, and 6. Same thing. And there we go. Now we see, man, makes it a lot nice and a lot nicer, a lot more pretty. Okay, lastly, the space delimiter won't work if you plan to get the user agent column, since its value may contain a space, just like the example log. So you see we've got spaces in between here. Given this, you must change the delimiter and select column 2 because the user agent is enclosed in double quotes. So to do that, we're going to go cut -D, and then we're going to put double quotes. Double quotes within our, and then we're going to do just F2, right? Yep, just F2. Field number 2. and hit it. And there we go. Now we see all of those. Perfect. In this example above, we used column 2 since column 1 will provide the contents before the first use of double quotes. Try executing the following. All right, so let's change this to 1 and see what we get. Oh, that just killed it. And see how the output differs from the space delimiter. This looks interesting. We got another one up here. Is it Microsoft? I think we're going to be looking for that, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, Linux pipes. All right, next, here we go with the Linux pipes. In the previous section, we introduced some Linux commands that will be useful for investigation. To utilize all of these commands and produce an output that can provide meaningful information, we can use what we call Linux pipes. In Linux or in Unix, like operating systems, a pipe, or the up and down character, what we got here, hey, or the up and down character is a way to connect two or more commands to make them work together seamlessly. All right, it allows you to take the output of the command and use it in the input for another command. We'll introduce more commands by going through some of these cases. So get the first 5 connections made by 10.10. To do this, we'll combine grep command with the head command. So let's check out our grep command. Let's clear this all off. Grep. And then we want to look at 10.10.140.96. The access log. So that is all the information that has to deal with 10.10.140.96 in the access logs. Let's see here. Let's focus on the connections made by the specific IP address. We did that. To limit the display of the first 5, we can append head. So we dumped everything in there. So now if we do a pipe and we add in the head command and say 5, now we should only get the first 5 lines that correspond with this. And there we go. Now we got 5 lines. We'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I was counting my grep line. The first command's output may have been a little too overwhelming since it provides every single connection made by the specific IP. Meanwhile, appending the pipe with a head command limits the results only to 5. We can limit to 10, we can go to 20. Let's get the list of unique domains accessed by all workstations. To do this, we'll combine the sort and the unique command with the cut command. Sort is a Linux command used to sort the lines of the text files or input streams in an ascending or descending order. With the unique command allows you to filter out and display unique lines from all of the sorted file or the input stream. Note the unique command requires a sorted list to be effective because it only compares the adjacent lines. All right, so to achieve our goal, we'll start by getting the domain column and removing the port. When we have the list of domains, we'll sort it and get the unique. All right, so let's check out this big long. So now we want to do, let's clear this again. Get off this dirty screen. Now we've got our cut -D. We're looking for we're going to do space, and we're going to do field 3 or column 3 of the access logs. And then what are we going to do? We're going to pipe in another cut command, -D, and we're going to use the colon, because what comes after the colon, that is our port. And then we're going to do for field 1, because we should only have one field, because in this first command, let's see if they explain it. In this first command, we're doing is cutting the access log just down to field 1 or field 3. which is going to be all the domains. And then once it's got that, then it's going to go back through here and it's going to cut out anything after the domain or after the colon, but it's field 1, and it's field 1 because there's only one field, because we've already cut everything out, created one field, and then we're doing to basically the second part. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and now we'll see. There we go. So everything after that colon was ripped out. So now we see all of our nice domains that we've connected to or that have gone through our proxy server. Let's go to the next one. You can try to execute the command one at a time and see their results by adding a pipe command. Display the connection count. Let's see. Okay, so that was our first one. So now we can let's do the same command. Let's clear this all off. We've got our same command that we did before with F1, right? And then now what we want to do is we want to sort it, right? They said we needed to, we have to have a sorted list to be able to do unique. So let's sort. So once we sort and hit enter, now it should be all in order. We see a ton of yammer.com. Let's kind of scroll up through here. Yammer.com, www.yammer.com. So like there's so many that it ran out of room on this. So let's clear this off. And let's start again. So now we've got sort. So now we've taken our first access log. We've chopped it down to only show the domains. Or only show domains and then their port. And then we've cut it again to only show the domain, anything after that. Then we're sorting all of those. And then now what are we going to do? Now we're going to come in and say, come on. Now we're going to come in and say unique. I only want to see unique entries. Now let's hit that and let's see what we got. Now we see that we see only unique entries. So there may be, let's scroll down here. Where did we have it? Now we have Yammer in www.yammer.com, where before it filled the whole screen. Now we've got just those. So it's showing you there may be hundreds of those in there, but what we want to do is we want unique. So that's unique. That's it. That's its own. All right, display the connection count made by each domain. We've already have a list of unique domains based on our previous case. Now we only need to add some parameters in our commands to get the count of each domain accessed. This can be done by adding the -c option to the unique command. So now what is it going to do? It's going to spit this exact same thing out, but it's going to give us the count next to it of how many times it was on there. So let's hit our up arrow key and then let's hit C. And there you go. Now we see the actual count. So 286 times went to protection.office.com. Moreover, the result can be sorted again based on the count by using the -n option of the sort command. So now let's go. We're going to have to pipe in sort now, right? So we need to sort it again. We want to sort again, and we want to sort it by, oh man, you can't see that because I'm in the way. Let me, let's do this. Let's clear this and start it back from the top. All right, so now we've got our unique/c. We've got sort, and then we're going to do -n, because now what are we going to do? Let's walk through it again. We're going to cut out the access log, so only field 3 or column 3 to get the domains. But that's going to give us a domain and the port that they're connected to. So then let's cut out anything that's after the colon, which would be their port number. So we've cut that out. Now we're sorting them, right? We're sorting them all. Then we're going to get the unique count. So how many times was that thing how many times was it gone to? So we got that list, and now let's sort that list. Let's sort it in an ascending or descending value. There we go. Add an extra space. So now we have an ascending value. How many times each one went each site was gone to. Perfect. So now let's read through this. Based on the result, you can see that the count of the connections made for each domain is sorted in ascending order. If you want to make the output appear in a descending order, use the -R option. Note that it can be combined with a -N option, so N-R if not written together. So let's clear it, and let's just, for giggles, let's just hit R, and now we see it going down, right? Let's clear it out again, and let's do R and N. So we got NR, and there you go. So by the number. All right, you can play with the above commands to test your capabilities and combining Linux commands. That is a longer command. All right, so now we need to hunt down this malicious traffic. We've kind of run through this. We've learned about it. So let's figure out what we're doing here. Hunting down the malicious traffic. Now that we have developed the skills needed to assist Mr. Forensic McBlue, let's get down to business. To start hunting the suspicious traffic, let's try to list the top domains accessed by the users and see if the users accessed any unusual domains. You can do this by reusing the previous command to retrieve the connection count for each domain and then tail the last 10 items. Okay, so we can do this, and then what are we gonna do? We're gonna add in tail because we only want to see the last 10. No, that's killing me. Tail, and then we only want to see the last 10 items. So there we go. Anything suspicious in here? Shell, prod. Whoa, we got McGreedy's secret 2.thm. Note that we use a command tail-n since the list is sorted in an ascending order, and because of this, the domains with the high connection count are positioned at the end of the list. Oh, you know what? Let's we did it in reverse order. So we're not going to get what they're wanting us to look at. There we go. Ooh, look at this. Big Stash Bash. Frostling's big bad stash. But we've got two, because we got McGreedy's secret THM as well. Alright, check for the list of domains and see if... And you'll see that Microsoft owns most of them. Out of the 10 domains we can see, one seems unusual. Let's use that domain and grep and head commands to retrieve the first 10 connections it made. All right. So let's say grep. I don't want to type it all wrong. So let's grep that. In the access log, and then what they say we wanted to do, check the list, the top 10 domains, one seems unusual, and then use the head command. So head, we only want to see, it's saying let's only look at the first 5. No, first 10 connections. First 10 connections. All right. We've got that. Upon checking the list and a request made to the bad domain, we see something unusual with the string passed to the goodies parameter. So the goodies parameter? Oh, here's the goodies. Oh, look. Here we go. Here's all of our goodies. What do we got going on here? We got something going to our goodies parameter. Let's try and retrieve the data by cutting the requested URI with the equals delimiter. All right, so let's do this, and then let's do pipe. Then we want to cut. And what is it that we're going to cut? We're going to cut the equals parameter. I can't see that. Come on. Can we do a clear? Clear. Let's move back to the top. We got our try hack me. It's hiding everything for us. All right. Clear. All right, so we got cut, and then we're gonna do -D, and then we're doing the equals parameter. No, not the plus. Go on. Equals, and then field 2. Interesting. Let's try and retrieve the data by cutting the request URI with the equals limiter. We did that. Why does mine not look as pretty as theirs, though? Cut -D. Ah. We got the head, access, cut. Wait, what did they do here? Switch domain. Let's try and retrieve the data by cutting the request URI with the equals as the delimiter. So they did grep, suspicious domain, access log. Oh, they just didn't do the first ones. Got it. So we got cut -D, and then we're they got F5. F5. Cut -D. Equals -F2. Okay. I must have missed something. Upon checking the list of requests, redacted domain, we're seeing something unusual. String passed to goodies. Let's try and retrieve the data by cutting the request URI. Okay. Based on the format, the data sent seems to be encoded in base 64. Using this theory, we can try and decode the strings by piping the output to a base 64 command. So let's do that same thing. Let's clear this so we can all see. Up, up, come on up. F2, and then let's do a base 64-D. Not base 67, come on. Base 64. Oh, look at that. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Andrew, looks like Andrew wants a skateboard. Did you notice that decoded data seems to be sensitive data at the artifacts? This might be a case of data exfiltration. All right, conclusion. Congratulations, you have completed the investigation through the log analysis and uncovered the stolen data. The next step for Forensic Mixed Blues team in this incident is to apply these mitigation steps like blocking the malicious domain to prevent any further impact. All right, how many unique IP addresses are connected to the proxy server? Good Lord. Let's clear. Let's go back up. Man, what was... How many unique IP addresses? Bro. All right. There we go. We got a unique count. But what are our fields? I need to remember what our fields are. IP address. So we need source IP. So clear. We need think all we need to do is, this is 1, 2, that's field 1, field 2, so we need field 2. All right, there we go. So how many unique IP did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Is that going to be right? We got 9. Give me a green. Yes. All right. How many unique domains were accessed by these workstations? All right. What was our domain? I think that was 4 or 3. Three. Let's check out. Come on. Field 3. There's a lot of unique domains. There's got to be a better way to do this. How many unique domains were accessed by all workstations? Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Unique domains? Wait, we need to cut all this stuff off. Haha. You know what we need to do? We need to add the numbers to the lines. What was that command again? Concatenate, there we go. NL, I believe it's NL. Yep, there we go. And let's add NL. Can we pipe NL? There we go. 111. Are we right? Tell me we're right, so we can be the smartest men alive. Uh-oh, we're not right. Oh, that's a wrong one. But we're right on this one. You're right if you put the answer in the right place. All right, what is the status code generated by the HTTP request to the least access domain? What is the status code? Now we're going to need to know the status code. And our domains are... Domain is 3. And what is our status code? Status code is 6. So we're going to need 6. Don't need number lines. I don't want to cut any of that. All right, that gives us a status code. Perfect. What is the status code generated with the least request? All right, so clear. Let's think how we're going to do this. This is going to cut. We're going to pull just that information, and then once we do that, then we want to get unique, or no, sort. And then we want unique And then we're wanting the least access domain. So they're going to want us to tail 5 142 Yammers. It's either 301 or 200. 200. Okay. We are not right. What did we do wrong here? We've got let's redo this again. I'm seeing it in there. There's 92. Oh, there's 1. 4. So 502. Why did we not? Okay. So we've got this now. And we're sorting it. So we're sorting it, right? So we're sorted there. Okay. And then we want unique. But we want the unique count. And we want it sorted by number. I think that's what I did wrong. And in this version, the way we've got it, we want to do head, number, and let's say 10, top 10. There we go. So we got power automate 0000 or 504. Let's see what we got. 0000. 504. Well, what is the status code? What status code is generated by the HTTP request to the least access domain? Come on now. Show 000. All right, I'm missing something. All right, let me check something over here. I hate it when this happens. We're jamming though. All right, I'm pulling up. Let's see what we got here. All right. We've got over here. Scroll back, scroll back. What happened to my terminal here? Come on. There we go. All right, back. Okay, we did this. What happened to my terminal? So we've got power automate. So interesting. So the answer is 503. But what I'm seeing is there is a count of 1 and 1 for Digicert and power automate. And that's not 503. That's what's frustrating. That is a little frustrating. All right, so I'm gonna pull this over so everybody can see. So this is the official walkthrough for today. I'm gonna pull this over and we're gonna go and see how she ended up with 503. Let's pause this music. I want to make sure you guys can hear this.
Space, and this time we want to keep the HTTP requests. So we're going to grab the third column and then the sixth column. Then we're going to get the file name, and then we're going to pipe a grep and search for partner services. And we can see here that this is returning a 503 error. Excellent. We're now asked
partner services
with a suspicious domain. So we're going to
wait a second. Based on the what is the least access domain? I'm going to have to go back through this and figure out why they think. Let's see.
Excellent. Our next one is related. What status code is generated by the HTTP request to the least access domain? So let's have a back look at this little log file here. We see the least access domain is partnerservices.getMicrosoft key. So how do we do that? Surprisingly enough, we're going to use 101.
Wait a second. How are they coming up with that?
Excellent. Our next one is related. What status code is generated by the HTTP request to the least access domain? So let's have a back look at this little log file here. We see the least.
So they've got cut -d, access cut d, F1 sort unique. So that's exactly what. Let me make sure we've got exactly that same thing. Let's clear. And I've got. So they are doing cut. They're not putting in column 6 yet. So cut column 3, exact same thing. Access log sort. They've got and they've got in here cut -d. And cutting out the port, which is fine. Just like we did before with the first field 1. And then they're sorting it unique, so exact same thing. And they did sort in F versus R. That's interesting. Why is it giving that? So when I did it before, we had F6, and then we were sorting it, and then we were pulling unique. So that is interesting. So mine actually pulls everything. So we see Power Automate, we see Digicert, we see Sign Up Log, we see Office. So what is it that is different about this than it is about mine? Because that's pulling. Mine's pulling 3 and 6 access log, and then all I'm doing is sorting them by getting the unique and then sorting them again. And what are we doing up here? We're cutting the log just fine. We're only pulling out this. Then we're ripping off. All she did was, we can do that same thing here. So let's do this. We can rip off. There's going to be a difference in this one. I want to understand why this is what it is. So all she's doing is cutting -d and then doing this, which is going to end up cutting as a field 1, then sort. But all that's doing is that's cutting this off, right? So it's just cutting that off. And if I do that, though, all that does is give me those. It doesn't actually give me. And okay, so let's see. This is interesting, guys. This is interesting. So this is cutting off. You want to make sure you understand why something is the way it is, especially when you're looking at a log file. So what I pulled on here was I pulled in every single thing. So basically on the line that I'm running, scroll up, Do we get to see it? Yep. So we're pulling in the file. We're looking at column 3 and column 6. So column 3 is the domain with the port, and then column 6, which is the status code. So we've got column 3 here, right? And column 6 with the status code. So we pull that, and those are the status codes that are on there. We see a status code, we scroll all the way down, we still see status codes. 301, we're going all the way down. And we still see a status code of 504 and 503, and then 00 and 00. Okay? Perfect. But then what happens is we go in and we say, what they did is they went in and said they want to remove column 6. Right? So they removed column 6. And then they removed the status code. Or not the status code, but the port. So doing this, all this is going to do is remove the port after. We're going to get this exact same thing here. So see, but now we get partnerservices.getmicrosoftkey.com. That's showing, it doesn't show us the other ones. This is quirky, right? Because in the actual file itself, that's there. So let's go, that's the full log. I'm going to have to send something out. I'm going to have to ask around and understand why we only got why we're looking at 503 as being the correct one, because 503 to me should not be I mean, it could be the correct one by, let's see, that was the last one, or this is the one reran. No. Let's cut, if we remove this, so we'll run the code that run the stuff that we did. Where's it at? See, now we get the 4321. And we get a 500, 504, 503. Interesting. Based on the high count of connection attempts, what is the name of the suspicious domain? Oh, we want the suspicious domain again. Frostling's Big Bad Stash. All right. What is the source IP of the workstation that accessed the malicious domain? Wait, there we go. Now we'll do the same thing. What is the IP address of the computer? Let's see, what's our IP? Our IP was 2. So let's do 2. How about we do this in the reverse order here? I don't care about the status code. We do 3. Let's grep for... Oh, come on. Where's Frostlings? That frustrated me. Got me a little flustered. Need my music back. All right, let's go back into here. Access log. Looks like our IP address. Now I'm doing this dirty. 10.185. Oh, come on. 10.185.225. All right, how many requests were made on the malicious domain in total? That's not gonna be it. It was 4,000 and something. Look at me scrolling through. I got flustered, guys. I've got flustered. This whole 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 here has got me all screwed up. All right. Now we want to... Let's flip it the other way. There we go. 1581, 1581. Having exfiltrated, or having retrieved the exfiltrated data, what is the hidden flag? I missed the flag. We got the goodies. We did all the goodies there. All right. So, what did we look for? Oh, our file. All right. So now we need to grep frostlings dot. Do I still have that in? I think I still got that in. Yes. Okay. And we're gonna do the access log. So that is gonna be on there, and then what we want to do is cut -d space, whoop, and then let's what field do we want? What field should we be looking in? Field 5. Oh, field 5. Yes, the URI. The URI is going to be within that file that we had that had base 64 in there, all the different characters. So we're going to need field 5, and then it's going to be base 60. Let's see what this gives us. There we go. All right, so now we've got that. So now we're going to do the same thing here. Whoop. Let's clear. Then we're going to do the same thing. And remember what we did before is we cut. And then, whoop. We cut everything after equals. Sorry. Whoops. After equals. And then that should give us just... Let's specify the list of bytes. Wait. Oh, in field 2. Duh. Alright. What do we cut? So everything after field 2. There we go. So now we've got all of that information in there. But remember what we did before is we had to convert that into base 64. Not 67. Man, that's the second time I did that. Base 64 -D. Alright. So now here's our whole list, and then I believe in here, there it is. SOC analyst. You get a try hack me gift because you are an awesome analyst. Oop. Copy. Copy. Right, all the way down here. Paste that bad boy in, submit, and now we're done. All right. That took a lot longer than we needed it to take. About an hour. But I want to get some answers. I want to know why what we came up with was not there. Interestingly enough. I'm gonna have to reach out and see why I was only pulling or I was pulling more than what everybody else was. But that being said, that was a fun little room. Tomorrow, day 8 of the Advent of Cyber. I'm in Central Time, so it's I think it's about 10 o'clock a.m. here, or 11 o'clock a.m. here that it'll kick off. So I will see you guys sometime tomorrow to do day 8. Till then, see everybody.